six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk-Nerds podcast. Sit back and get back and get back and get grab a six-pack, sit back and get back and get back and get grab a six-pack, sit back and get back and get back and get grab a six-pack, sit back and get back and get back and get grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 200 and Jesus Christ.
He has risen again.
28 of the little Gen. What? Oh boy. Drunk Dash.
Already, are we?
Yeah. Well, this is. Okay, I'm just gonna keep rolling with it. Drunk Nerds podcast. Wow. I'm your host, as always. I think I'm not sure anymore. Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Tyler. I am doing all right. I went through my work week just pretty good, but gotta tell you, I am really feeling pretty good. This past week, I managed to find a bunch of fun stuff, but before that, I just wanted to tell you a little bit of a story that I had earlier on this morning. So, I went to Walmart. I went through, picked up a couple things for the mom and stuff. She wants some picture frames, this and that. I go to the cards section because I wanted to try to pick out some cards. I find this card box, which was in its display for about $20. So I go to the self-checkout line, and as soon as I scan it, it tells me $39.99. So I'm like, okay, no, I'm not buying this for $40. I take the item off of the list and stuff, and the self-checkout thing, I figure out, it's like, if you take something off, you have to have an employee go through and approve it. So
Yeah.
the guy goes through, comes over, does it and stuff like that. I pay for my stuff, because I didn't want to buy the thing for $40. I go and I try to explain to him, it's like, yeah, you know what? The reason why I didn't buy that is because the price thing, and it's in the middle of, right as I was going to say something to him, he's like, yeah, just walks away to his supervisor to where, he called her up for some frivolous shit. And so he basically was rude, cut me off mid-sentence to walk over to a supervisor, just really didn't give a shit. So, obviously that did not sit well with me, so I went directly to the supervisor that he did call. This is way over the customer service area. Talked to her about it. I took pictures of him and the display, exactly the type of price that was there. And so what she ended up doing is, she asked me, hey, do you want to buy the product? I was like, yeah, sure. Okay, I'll charge you the same price that it was for where it was located at, which was $20. So I bought it for $20. So the thing was, the reasoning was, I went to her and complained because, for one, the dude was being an ass.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up getting my card stuff for half of what it originally was at Walmart because the dude was acting like an asshole. Pretty much. Because I was trying to explain to him, hey, you got something a little bit off kilter right here. Because the cards, this stack of card set was supposed to be labeled $39.99. However, I showed her and the assistant manager of that department that no, this was set over here $19.99. And so both of them looked at the pictures and stuff, okay, we'll charge you $20 because that was their error. So that was how my day began. I know, it's have you ever had that type of experience though, Tyler, where it's you go through a customer service or go through anything else like that, and just that one instance where somebody just goes and makes you angry, you're like, I ain't taking that shit. And then you just go over and just do something.
I honestly, there's been plenty of times where I've gotten angry at, not I've gotten upset, not angry, but upset, dealing with customer service stuff. But
yeah,
never got I've never really got to the point where I was super upset or went to a manager or anything like that. I've been fairly lucky. I do remember I went to Walmart one time and bought the Tenacious D's Pick a Destiny CD. and
Yeah.
it was labeled $8. And
Yep.
I went there to go check out, and they charged me $14 for it. And I told them, no, it's supposed to be $8. There's a sign right there. It says $8. And she argued with me. She's like, well, it comes up 14. I'm like, well, it's $8. And so they actually had to go back and do it and like check it, and came back. Oh yeah, no, it's $8. And she apologized. But that's really like that's really the worst I think I've had as far as stuff like that goes. That's the first thing that popped in my head when we started talking about things like that. But go ahead.
Well, that's just a thing, though. That's like, it's just for when I go over to like that specific Walmart in general. Sometimes there's like a little bit of oddities or little odds and ends and stuff where they may not mean like some of the mistakes that they do make and stuff, but having worked inside of a customer service thing for the past almost 10 years now, and all of a sudden like dealing with that type of shit, it's like I know how people are supposed to act when it comes to, say, like customer service and stuff. But still, I would not have chewed him out if, one, he would have listened to what I had to say, and then just, even if he would have just said, oh, okay. It's like, okay, I'll look into it or something. I'll blah, blah, blah. I would not have said anything about it, and I would not have bought the card stuff. I would just walked out calmly, peace of mind and stuff. It was when he chose the option of not listening to me and walking away, that's when I started becoming angry.
Yeah.
But anyway, a good positive thing did come out of that, and I got my card set for $20. I got this Pokemon card set, this Decidueye X type of stuff. This Decidueye GX, kind of like a premium edition.
Cool.
Where it's like, it's a Pokemon card stuff where they got the evolutionary line for Rowlet, They got the 3 cards. As I was opening the packs, I got myself an Alolan Ninetales GX out of one of them. It was like, oh, Jesus Christ, that is awesome. Basically, it looks like snow. Considerably, the whole design of the card itself looks like snow, and it's all reflecting and shit. It's excellent. Another thing I was not expecting, though, was I opened another pack. It was like a reprint of some of the original Pokemon cards that were back around 20 years ago.
Ooh.
I pulled a shiny Clefairy, and they totally remade it into like a fairy type, because that's what Clefairy now is. It's not normal, it's a fairy type. So I got a shiny Clefairy and a shiny Magnemite.
Clefairy.
I know, right? But there was another fun thing that happened to me like earlier on this week. This ties into what I was beginning to talk about, and I went to a bookstore. I don't generally go to them too often, but I have an inkling to, because I like to pick up maybe a graphic novel or two. I went over last Tuesday, and I saw a complete set of the original Pokemon manga from way back around. That was printed like about the late 90s, early 2000s. This is a completely separate thing than either the video game adaptation for Pokemon and like the anime adaptation. This was like a 7-book set, and this is low in comparison to what you can find it online, but I got it for about $60.
Damn.
And damn, dude, I've already read like about 3 out of the 7 already this week.
Nice.
It's really cool. It delves into the story of like the protagonist Red going on a Pokemon journey against his rival Blue and stuff, and he encounters this girl and stuff called Green, and she's kind of a thief and stuff like that, and they have to go through and like solve specific problems. But there's like a couple of key differences. Did you know that like say most of the gym leaders inside of like the original Pokemon manga were actually part of Team Rocket?
Really? I didn't know that.
Dude, get this. You have guys like Lieutenant Surge, like Koga, Sabrina, even Blaine to a certain extent was affiliated with like Team Rocket and stuff. So you had maybe like 3 gym leaders in all that weren't even associated or try to battle, like like Brock, Misty, and Erica, pretty much, from the original like games. So it was kind of cool just to see how like there's certain instances where the story told was kind of a little bit dark and stuff. There are violent scenes. I mean, I did see like one of the more infamous scenes is like you see a zombie Arbok get like cut in half and all this other shit. I gotta admit, man, it's like from what I've read, it's been relatively enjoyable, and I've enjoyed it like quite a bit just reading this kind of nostalgia trip. Because I've heard good things about Pokemon Adventure from back in the day, but I've only heard little tidbits from PokeTubers and this and that, but having to experience it now in this day and age, it's really cool. I would really recommend people, if they could find it for cheap, like the entire set, new, or they could find a novel here and there and stuff, by all means, pick it up. It's worth a read. But enough about me. Tyler, how have you been?
Well, before we get to me, I actually I haven't checked it out myself yet, but I wanted to. I forgot to do it for the show. I want to talk to you about it. Did you see the teaser trailer drop for Pokemon I Choose You, the movie?
Oh yeah, a little bit of it. Yes, I have.
Okay, I'm curious. I've actually been looking, like, I haven't really watched Pokemon or anything. Like I watch episodes here and there, or like I'd catch them on TV, and I've gone back on like Netflix and watched some of the older stuff. But I'm actually kind of looking forward to this movie a little bit. I just didn't know if you checked it out yet.
Yes, I've checked out a little bit of it. What I get from it is sort of, it's not just like a retelling, but there are certain things that are remixed specifically, kind of like in a different type of parallel sort of universe than, say, like the anime, how that the first couple episodes are. And basically the movie just delves inside maybe the first couple episodes of retold of the anime from the original Pokemon.
Because like in the first episode of the series, like he sees Ho-Oh, and thank you. And I saw a screenshot, and he actually sees him up close and personal, which I don't know. I'm kind of cool. I'm kind of interested in that. I think it's kind of cool that going back to the beginning, it's going to get people like me interested in checking out Pokemon again for the first time in a long time. But that was cool. I was curious what you thought of it. I'm gonna.
That was okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out that trailer or that teaser here sometime soon. But otherwise, I'm doing pretty well. It is a Saturday night as usual when we record the show. I had 3 fantasy football drafts this week.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm in 2 at work. I got 1 with the Talking Ship guys. I'm in another one with the Talking Ship guys. That's more of a dynasty one. And then I'm in one with Dave and Mike and a couple other people. Like we're in like a group one. Like we're on a team together. So I'm in 5 right now. So yeah, but I'm the 2 ones at work are paid ones, so $20 a pop.
Oh, there you go. So will it actually pay off if, like, in terms of you possibly winning enough games or something?
Yeah, I think it works out to they're both 12-man leagues. I think it's if you get first place, it's 140. Second place is 40, and then third place you get 20. So you basically get your money back. I believe that's how it works out. No, because I guess if there's 12 people at $20 a pop, that's $240. So maybe it's 160, 40, and 20. But anyways, so I'm in a couple of those. So football started for NFL Thursday night. It was fun to watch real football again. We got it going on tomorrow morning. Football starts, so it's going to be. I got Sunday ticket. Probably gonna get it this whole year. We got the free sample this Sunday though, but that's gonna be great. And the Iowa Hawkeyes beat the Iowa State Cyclones this year. So again, this year.
Yay.
So that's sweet. I'm really happy about that. It's one of the more stressful weeks and games of the football season because in-state rivalries and stuff like that. And Iowa, not humble brag, I'm not really trying to rub it in or be cocky, but Iowa has dominated this rivalry. It's 43-22 as far as win losses go. And Iowa State fans, man, even when the game is competitive, they talk shit. So it's really annoying. It sucks because Iowa, when they win, it's well, you're supposed to beat them. You're Iowa, because Iowa predominantly is a pretty good program. And then when Iowa State wins, they talk shit for about 5 years about it. They haven't won since 2011. I still hear people talk. I was hearing people talk just this week about the game from 2011 when they won. So Iowa beat them and 44-41 overtime. So I'm sure at work when I go into work on Monday, everybody's like, "Well, you only won by 3 and it took overtime." So I don't know. Yeah, anyways, the Iowa State rivalry it's not a fun rivalry for if you're on the Iowa side, because it's really a no-win situation.
Yeah. That
either
really doesn't sound like him.
no, it's either you're supposed to beat them or hey, you guys suck because you lost Iowa State, because Iowa State's not really they haven't been to a bowl game in like a decade, so yeah.
That kind of sounds like the rivalry that say my brother has like with say the Huskies and stuff, because he is like an alumni from WSU, and so he really hates the Huskies and stuff of the UW.
Yeah,
like he's such a diehard Cougars fan that he took his stepson and went all the way to Pullman from where we're at right now. And so it took him about 8 hours. He left here like around 7 a.m. this morning, and he went all the way, and he's there in Pullman. He's watching the game now between Boise and Washington State. It's tied up like about 7-7 right now. It's the end of the first quarter. And I'm like, what? I wonder if he's staying in a hotel or something. He's going to drive the fucking all the way back, because it's like... yeah, because my brother's a little bit out there when it comes to, like, say, crazy stuff. But anyway, it's like, I understand what you're talking about in terms of rivalry between, like, Iowa State, all this other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun, though. You know, it's a lot more pressure, with, you know, a little more impactful, usually, because it's a lot of, you know, Iowa. It's your home state team, and then a lot of local players in there, so a little more sympathetic, or a little more emotional, a little more emotion in it. You know, with your state when your state is that team. But they're not doing okay. Justin's unfortunately not gonna be able to join us this week. He is out. He is busy this week. Other things going on. But I am polishing off the last of the 12-pack he brought me this last weekend. I talked about in the show. So I bought another 6-pack over Oktoberfest. Like I said, I had 3 fantasy football drafts. They are very boring drafts for the most part, because they're like 2 hours long each, 90 seconds per pick, and you're just doing a little bit of chatting. So, like in the chat window. So you're not actually...
I do not miss that at all.
Yeah, no, so I'm having 3 of them. Yeah, I do something. So I drink beer, because you can't really play video games or watch movies because you got to be paying attention to what's going on. So I just drink a lot of beer this week doing that.
Yeah, I can remember like a little bit of when I did participate with the fantasy football stuff. I just did not really enjoy it, honestly. It really made me start to hate football after some extent.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it sucks sometimes, especially when like I'm playing somebody that's got like Aaron Rodgers starting. It's like, oh shit. It's like, yes, all right, Aaron Rodgers threw a 75-yard touchdown pass. Shit. I'm going to lose fantasy football this week because Aaron Rodgers played super well.
I just don't understand like some of that logic too. But then again, it's like a lot of the fantasy football stuff. The main people just like they make a lot of money off of it if they win big and all this other stuff. Little cash pools. I can understand the purpose, but
yeah,
as far as it is like in terms of having a bit of fun and stuff, I don't like rooting against my team or my teammates or something like that for the span of like say. I don't know, just to win a fucking fantasy football match.
Yeah, it's a little more fun this year because it's been a while since I've been in like a paid one. Usually it's just like a bullshit fun one. But this year being in 2 paid ones adds a little more to it. But yeah, that's enough football talk. I think it's about time we move into the video games.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry. I want to talk about something before we get into video games.
Okay.
Big momentous thing happened today, this afternoon. For Justin and I. Wish Justin was here this week. Unfortunately, he's not, though. We went and saw the movie It. It's getting rave reviews. Just came out this past, I think, just Friday. So it's been a day now. But Justin and I grew up loving the TV miniseries back in the day with Tim Curry as a clown.
Yeah.
We have quoted that movie almost every time we hung out for 20 years.
It was a TV mini movie?
Yeah, it's super corny, but it's awesome. It's one of my all-time probably favorite movies. Maybe not from like a pure like if you like a pure movie. I'm not gonna like put it up with Godfather or anything, but it's one of my more like back in my childhood, one of the movies I'd watch that movie constantly. Justin and I would, and talk about it all the time, quote it constantly. I don't know how many times Justin and I have said, like when one of us shows up, like looks at a pack of like playing cards, like just regular cards. Bicycle always made the best sound, and there's like a scene in the movie where like they put like the bicycle card in the tire on the bicycle, and they ride it so it makes that little peg noise. So yeah, so we constantly quote the movie. So anyways, we went and saw it this afternoon. I liked it. Unfortunately, Justin a little disappointed. He texted me a little bit ago saying he thinks he was a little harsh on it and wants to go back. He likes it probably a lot more than I do because he actually read the book. I read the first chapter of the book. I'm not a big reader, and it's over 1,000-page book. And Stephen King, someone I've tried reading a few of his books. I usually fall off fairly quickly. He's very descriptive, and his books are long-winded sometimes. But anyways, this movie, like I said, I liked it. We went with his brother and his girlfriend. I was the one that actually, and I think Indian actually liked it. He says he wants to go see it again, just kind of like see maybe thinks maybe he's been a little harsh on it. But it was a good movie. I liked it. I think for this movie's been in development hell for 8-9 years now, and it finally came out. So I initially I thought this movie was gonna suck because it was just like director dropped out. There's been like a bunch of scripts written that fell apart, and trying to get actors together, and it just constantly was falling apart. And so this movie, the teaser trailer came out probably like 5-6 months ago, and I'm like, for the first time ever, I was excited about this movie. And it came out, and like a couple weeks ago, people started seeing the early screenings of it, and it was getting rave reviews. I'm like, holy shit, this movie might be really good. Like, I have not been this excited for probably for a movie since Star Wars Episode 7. And rarely do I ever really get excited for movies. Outside of like Fast and the Furious movies, I don't really get super excited to watch a movie. But like as far as hopefulness for a movie, episode 7 and this have been like one of the two bigger ones in my lifetime that I've been excited for, like going into. And yeah, it was okay. It was fine. It wasn't like, I think it's like in the high 80s or low 90s on Rotten Tomato. Right now, everybody's just loving it. It's not. I think there's a little bit of overhypedness for me, but I knew this was gonna be different. I didn't want to go in expecting. I didn't want to try to compare it to the original movie I grew up loving as a kid. I want to look at it like its own kind of thing. As its own kind of thing. It's much darker and gory to it. It's rated R when the other one was a PG-13 TV movie from the 90s, so a lot more family friendly. And this one is definitely not so much, family friendly, obviously rated R, but it was fun. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. I wouldn't say it's, if I was going to put like a number on it, it would probably be in the high 70s somewhere, maybe low 80s. Not like greatest movie of all time, but I liked it. And there's supposed to be a second one coming out, next year, I believe, to, do the second half of when they're adults and they come back. But I'm really happy. I'm really happy that this was good, that I liked it. Maybe if Justin's here next week, maybe we'll talk a little more. I think it'll be a little better when he's here to talk about, because it's hard to talk about without spoilers, but I think the things that I loved about the original movie, they did a really good job of doing that, and they also went deeper into it, because the first one was a little over 3 hours long, and it dealt with the entire book. It's over 1,000-page book. This one basically dealt with the first half of the book, so they got a lot more time dealing with things. But it was fun. It was fine. I think if you were a fan of the book, or the original movie, or looking for a good horror movie, I think this is a well above average horror movie, because most horror movies nowadays, let's face it, are not very good. Outside maybe The Conjuring and Babadook. So, yeah, that's it. Now let's get into the video games. Does that sound good to you?
Yep.
All right. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You know what? I'll go first this time.
Okay.
Just wanted to speak a little bit about some of the games that, well, actually more or less game that I've been playing. So like before, I have been delving into Pokemon Diamond because that's just how I've been going through. So I'm still playing a bit of Pokemon Diamond. I'm about 13 hours in now. And I have orchestrated like most of my team. I finally was able to evolve my Chimchar into a Monferno, which, hey, I like that Pokemon because it's like he learns Mach Punch. Now, what Mach Punch is a fighting type move that it basically is something called a priority move, to where you can negate a Pokemon's like speed and stuff, and it's supposed to hit first. It's supposed to be like maybe like a +1 or something like that, more or less. But anyway, linguistics aside, or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
Linguistics, blah, 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 blah.
Logistics.
Yeah, logistics. But basically, what it is, it's just a move for me to use first on a specific Pokemon, and then it's just like a quick hit, basically. So, at this moment, I've got like about 3 badges. I just got through playing a bit inside the Great Marsh, which the Great Marsh inside like Pastoria City or something like that is a gigantic like swampland. It's basically a swampland version of the Safari Zone. But the thing is, it doesn't keep track of how many steps you do. I think it keeps track of like how long you spend in it. I kind of like it that way. But the amount of rare Pokemon you'll find just depends upon like the specific patch, field, like area of where you go into. Going into there, I was looking for one specific Pokemon to add to my team. It is a poison type Pokemon. It's called Skorupi, which basically it's a purple scorpion, and it evolves at level 40 into a Drapion, which is like a bipedal, sort of like a scorpion monster that like could use moves like say Poison Fang and this and that and stuff. I just basically wanted a big old offensive powerhouse on my team. So I go through, and it took me about an hour to finally try to find one to capture and put on my team. Because every attempt that I've done inside is like, okay, let's see what Pokemon I'm going to get this time. And I end up encountering Pokemon, say, like Starly, like Wooper, Quagsire, Bidoof, Bibarel, stuff like that. I managed to find a couple, like, rare Pokemon, like, say, there's this crazy vine Pokemon that's called Carnivine, which is basically just a regular grass type. And he looks crazy. It looks like like a Venus flytrap sort of creature with eyes, you know? But, yeah, I managed to capture a lot of those creatures. It wasn't until, like, about the half-hour period where I finally encountered my first Skorupi. And it was, like, cool and stuff. I finally was able to find one. Then the first Safari Ball I tried popping off is like, yeah, breaks out of it. What does he do next? He runs away. Like, God dang it. So, I've had one escape from me twice, and it was, like, pretty much the third time. The third time what I did differently was I gave him a bit of bait, then afterwards I threw the Safari's ball and I caught him. So I love the aspect of going to a Safari Zone, finding Pokemon that are not available in any other type of area throughout the entire game. But just like in the original Red, Blue, and Yellow, you gotta do a song and dance with either throwing mud or throwing rocks or throwing bait in order to try to weaken them a little bit, but not scare them enough to let them run away, or not use a Safari Ball too early to let them run away, or get angry and run away, which there will be some that do that as well. But I am glad it does not have the option where if you threw too many baits or something to a Pokemon, say like you do in Red, Blue, and Yellow, that if you throw a Safari Ball, it'll end up missing the Pokemon. Which, that happened to me twice during my playthrough of Pokemon Yellow, like about a month back, where it's like, oh, okay, here's a Wild Chansey. Okay, let's throw the Pokeball now after throwing about 3 baits to it. Oh, what? It missed! But, as far as my team goes, I got not only Monferno, but I got something called the Gastrodon. So Gastrodon's an evolutionary form of the Pokemon I caught earlier called Shellos. It's a water ground type Pokemon. Basically, its main power is special type moves. So it has like moves like Water, Pulse, and it has Hidden Power. A Hidden Power ground attack, pretty much. And the last Pokemon that I have on my team currently is it was a Pokemon that's called like Bronzer, which it's a Steel Psychic type. It looks like a giant medallion, pretty much. A giant steel medallion with eyes in the center of it. But I evolved it into a Pokemon at level 33 called Bronzong, which it's a gigantic steel bell that floats. I kid you not. If you check out like a Google image of like Bronzong, it's basically a gigantic steel bell with eyes and stuff and like crazy designs on it, and it's really one of the most tankiest Pokemon I think I've ever evolved, because it's like, even before it evolved, it had like high defensive stats, like almost the 70s before I evolved it. And then when I evolved it, it kicked it up like another 10 skill points inside of both defense and special defense. So it's like, it's upwards to like 86, 87. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh god. So that's pretty much it in and of itself for in the nutshell and stuff when it comes to like a Pokemon Diamond. I'm at a point where it's like I'm going to be facing off against another gym leader, the water type gym leader in Sinnoh, Crusher Wake, who's honestly, he's a mixture of a professional wrestler and a gym leader combined into one that uses like water types. Doesn't make sense, but yet it's kind of awesome because he wears a mask and everything.
Maybe he's just a big fan of Bash at the Beach, WCW, where they used to wrestle.
Oh my god!
And surrounded by a beach.
Dude, he basically kind of reminds me of Ric Flair, only without like the robe and stuff like that. He just wears a mask and his hair just sticks out in the end and stuff in the mask.
Huh? Does he woo a lot? Woo!
Oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to check that.
Check back. Let me know.
But anyway, Tyler, okay. What were you about to say?
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
But I have not played any other game, but I did pick up Mario+Rabbids.
Oh my god.
I will be playing that
yes.
shortly.
God, yes. Oh, we can discuss that.
Because you know what I did is I traded in the Crash Bandicoot trilogy.
Good idea.
Because, you know what? Fuck that game.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want to deal with the control scheme for that game, just for the original. Got about $20-something in credit.
Nice.
And I got that Mario+Rabbids game for about close to about $30 off. So hey, you know what? I'm gonna try this game, see if I like it.
Yes. God, yes, Gables, I love you so much right now.
Yeah.
So
what have you been playing, Tyler?
Actually, real quick, are you gonna have? You think you're gonna have Pokemon beaten? You got Metroid coming out on Friday, buddy.
I forgot about Metroid, but you know what? I'm not sure. To be perfectly honest with you, Metroid comes out Friday. It's a game I've been looking forward to, but we'll see how it. We'll see how it goes. I still have about a week.
Yep.
I'm pretty much halfway through with completing my team. I got my 4th team member today, so it's possible.
Okay. just one double check. But speaking of Mario+Rabbids, I talked about last week. I was only how far was I in? I think I was about halfway through or so.
Yeah.
I have now officially completed the game.
Yay!
Yeah, I finished it up on Monday. Labor Day, so I had a day off. So I spent a good chunk of the. Went to the driving range actually, and then for some reason I'm not sure I did that, but it was fun. Actually got halfway decent at hitting a golf ball. I mean, it went like 600 yards to left and right, but it went far, so that's good. It was not 600.
It went far to the left.
Yeah, it went. I was hitting them like regularly, like 200 yards, but they're going like 50 feet, one like to left and right every single time. Well, I was getting better.
Tyler, I can just see you just like being narrated by like some sort of announcer or something like that as you're driving the range. You know, you have like Bob Uecker and so there's like just a bit outside.
Yeah, or just it's like dog will hunt. Useful. I was just every time I was doing it, I kept thinking of when I used to play like Tiger Woods golf back on the PlayStation 1. I was thinking about the narrations from there. But anyways, I did finish up Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I think I beat that game in like 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
Which I mean, I think like I beat Uncharted Legacy in like 2 sittings, but that game's like 5 hours long. This game's probably closer to 20, and I did a lot of side stuff too. But I just could not quit playing this game. I said it on Twitter, and I still feel that way when I initially beat it. Now this is probably the most fun experience I've had playing a game all year this year.
Really?
Yeah. Not the best. Don't get me wrong. It's not the best game I played this year. But as far as just pure fun and enjoyment goes, this was it, man. Like it was like it had that like one more match or one more fight mentality to me. Like when you play a game, it's like I'll do one more, and then that one more turns into 2 hours later, and you've done like 20 more. I stayed up. I was off for 5 days, and I stayed up. I think almost probably 3 or 4 nights up super late playing that game.
Wow.
And every time I play it, it's like I've heard some people say it's like good in 20-30 minute chunks. Every time I sat down and played that game, I think I played it for like 2 hours minimum. Just could not quit doing it. And like I would restart, like I would do a turn. I'm like, I don't like what I did there. I restart a battle. I was trying to get perfect. I got perfect in everything but 3 fights. So like every fight you have, like every match you have to beat it in under a certain amount of turns and finish with all 3 characters alive. And I got all but 3. The final battle, there was one in the middle of the last area, and then the first boss. Which the first boss wasn't very hard, but I just took me a minute to figure out. It took me a few turns to figure out a strategy how you're supposed to beat him. But anyways, I was so hooked on this game. It was just like I was talking a little bit last week, like just figuring out the combinations of like how to do as much damage in one turn, and like nailing all these perfect things going just right, like just felt great. And like there's certain times I go, like almost every match in like the last area was like I see all the enemies, I scope the land and see like, okay, like how can I do the most damage, how can I make the most move around the most area, and I was just like I was like, oh man, how the fuck am I supposed to beat these guys? And I was just like, I would like pull off these like crazy moves and like do like, oh, I'm gonna dash him. It's like I like my skill trees. I almost 100%ed every single skill tree, and so all my characters had like super high health, HP, and did like really good. Like so they did like the baseball slide I talked about last week, where you can run up and baseball slide an enemy, it does damage, and like I max those out. I have like one character that can do 3 dashes. They're called dashes, baseball slides, in one move. And like I was using, like I found like the perfect combination of like using power ups for the team and for myself, and the combos and how to make them work. Like it was just like once I figured out my strategy, it took about a world and a half or two to figure it out. Like I almost like became unstoppable in this game. Yeah, it just I felt like a badass this entire game, which feels great. And also it being a Mario game, it's incredibly fun. The writing is really well done. The worlds are really well made. I had a few technical issues in like the 4th world, which is the last world, where I had the game twice actually like close out on me. Like there was like, you had an error. Yeah, and the game actually closed out completely. Had to go back in and reboot the whole thing. And there was one tunnel, like I went through, like there was like secret like paths you could find. I found a secret path, and I went through a pipe, and it took me to this little tiny block, and I opened up a chest, and I tried to go back through the pipe to get back to where I needed to be. Hitting the A button would come up as a prompt to hit, and it wasn't doing anything. I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on? Like, am I missing something here? Like, is there like, it's only like this 2x2 block that I'm on. There's a chest and me. There's nothing else on it. And I spent like a minute or two trying to figure out if I'm like there's some secret thing I'm missing, and I couldn't find anything. So I actually went and I watched 3 different like Let's Plays of it, and I went and I found all 3 of them got to that point and got stuck there too. So it's a glitch. I'm assuming they might have fixed it by now, but it's like late in the 4th world, and you can easily just return back to the Mario Castle and then jump back into the game, and you get to keep what you found in the chest and all that. So it's a minor inconvenience, but that's really
Right.
the big like issues I found as far as like, technically goes. The only real problem, really major complaint I have, not really major, is like, so you have, like I said, there's 4 worlds and each world has like 9 chapters, and I thought the game was for the most part incredibly easy up till 4 or 5. At chapter 5 of each world there's like a mid boss, and for the most part they're not super hard. And I felt at like 4 or 5, like the difficulty level kind of just like took a unnatural spike to it, where it was just turned into, and all the games have this problem. I complained about this like Uncharted and a few other games before, or it's like it's kind of like a lazy way of making the game more challenging is by throwing a shit ton of enemies at you in succession, and that's what it felt like to me. Is like, here's more here, instead of fighting 4, 5, 6 enemies, and a couple of them, those enemies or some of the stronger enemies are more difficult to deal with. Like, now we're gonna have you fight 8, 9, 10 enemies, and they're all going to be like the extra difficult ones, or hey, we're going to have you fight in 3 battles in a row, so you can't do anything to, like, you can't switch out characters, or you can't, there's no saving in between, so you have to win these 2 or 3 battles in a row without dying, otherwise you got to start all over again, so you can't heal up or anything like that. So it just kind of felt unnatural to me. Like, it was just, that was it. Like, that's not even a major complaint. I got through them. I mean, it was difficult, but it wasn't like I felt like super unfair. But that was really that's really it as far as like problems with the game. But overall, it was just the world is charming, the characters are charming as hell. I actually liked Mario, like I talked about a little last week. Rabbid Peach is probably my favorite character in this game, which I can't believe I'm saying that, but that's actually true. Luigi, as far as like playing as a character, was probably my favorite character. I think he had the best overall like skills. But yeah, it's incredibly fun. If you like, it feels like Nintendo made this game, which is probably the biggest compliment you can give, maybe to, especially for this game. It's the biggest compliment you can give. I think it's maybe like a really good compliment because Nintendo makes their games are always solid and well made. And 90% of them are good games, and this feels like Nintendo. Like, I know Nintendo had probably a lot of input on this, but it felt like they made this game, so that's awesome. But yeah, 2 big thumbs up. I recommend, if you have a Switch, this is a must buy for the Switch, and this is, if you don't have a Switch, this is just one big reason on top of all the other reasons to buy Switch. I think this and Breath of the Wild are system sellers to me.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think you'll be incredibly happy when you start playing this game. A couple other things. Life is Strange, I talked about last week. I haven't finished it yet, so I don't want to talk about it yet until I finish it. But they had the first episode came out. Everybody's Golf, I picked that up. Only played it for an hour. Don't want to say too much more than it's a fun little golf game. It's kind of like it's not like a Tiger Woods type. It's like a arcadey version of golf, but it's really fun. It's cool. I like the fact that you can knock out a round in like 15 minutes, and it's well made. Don't have much more to say on top of that. The only downside is that I've played 5 or 6 rounds, and every single round has taken place on the same golf course. So that's kind of boring. I hope there's more, but I haven't unlocked them yet. I wish I could unlock them a little faster. Give me something different. But the other thing I've been playing, I don't even know if I told you this, Gables. I purposely didn't tell you this, actually, is I picked up Destiny 2.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yes, I did. I didn't even tell Justin that, and we hung out earlier and talked for a while. And so he doesn't know I've been playing this. Yeah, so let's see, look at my PS4 account. But I picked it up Friday night. I played a little over an hour and a half maybe. Only did the first 4 or 5 missions. But I could say this, I kind of agree along with everybody else, where after just the first mission alone, there is probably more story in this game. Not to say it's like amazing voice acting or story, but there's definitely a lot more story in the first mission than there is in the entire first game. So that's really good. They kind of feels like they picked up off of what they did with Taken King, where I think a lot of people, I know I felt that way, and then we felt that way. Taken King was like a really well made chunk of an expansion. As far as just what they did with the story parts of it, like there's actually a really good story there, and they gave you a reason to hate these guys and to hate the final boss, or dislike them, whatever. And this one, like, you deal with the final boss, and you're introduced to him. He destroys he doesn't destroy it, but he takes out the Traveler. So you lose your light, you lose your powers, and it's a journey of like you guys like he takes out the final city on Earth, and the last city on Earth, and you're like trying to pick up the pieces. From what I've seen so far, and now you're dealing with like I'm in the first section of the game. I just unlocked the second area, but you're in like a European dead zone. And I'm just, I'm still basically in the tutorial parts of it. But I've already dealt with a lot, probably as many cutscenes as there are in the first game already in this game. So that's a big accomplishment for this game, I think. But yeah, it's early. I'm going to play more of it. I'm only on like level 4. I was playing for a little bit before we started recording. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. Destiny 1 was fun to play. Just, obviously other things we've talked about over the years, but they have definitely improved the down parts of it. I'm just kind of curious, actually. The biggest down part was just the repetitiveness and what the helmets just do outside of the main campaign, and I haven't really got to that part where you're able to kind of jump out and get to the open world. So I'm curious what they're going to do to fill in those gaps. But the big thing going on is so there's a big controversy going on, and I think rightfully so, with Destiny 2 is there's a thing with the shaders. So the shaders in the first game and in the second game was like the shaders just kind of changed like the color scheme of whatever the hell you're wearing. The first game you unlocked them and it just changed your entire outfit would change to that scheme. And Destiny 2 now there's shaders that for each individual piece, so you can unlock shaders for like the left arm, the right arm, the chest, the head, the legs. There's 5 different sections you can get them for. So you might have like a purple arm, but you might have a different shader for the left arm. Now you can get shaders in game. I guess the majority of them you get in the in-game stuff, but you can get shaders through loot boxes. People don't know loot boxes are like pack of cards for like a Pokemon kind of game. It's that where you just open them up and you get a random assortment of shit, assortment of shaders and stuff like that. You gotta pay money for these, real money. I think it's like 99 cents for one, like $4 for 5, and so on and so forth. The more you buy, the cheaper they are. The bullshit about this is that the shaders are now consumable. So once you remove the shader, it's gone.
Jeez.
So if you like, I unlocked a new shader, I want to see what this one looks like, and you go look at it. Well, that shader you just removed now is gone, so you're stuck with it. You can't even try it on now. Now, like, if I want to look and see what that shader looks like, I hope it's good, and I'm stuck with it. So that's really what the complaint is, and I understandably so. Where not only do I have to pay for these, now I can only wear them once, and I can't remove them. So, yeah.
That absolutely sucks.
You talk about looking for the show, yeah. We got to say on this one?
Well, let's see. For one, I can understand the complaints of the game in terms of the shaders stuff, because in the original Destiny, it was something you picked up. It was free to use and replace pretty much at will, because you would earn things through the DLC stuff or through the journey that you had through the original main game, where you come across some shaders, maybe like few and far between. You were able to customize the look of your Spartan, maybe color coordinate with what you wanted. And basically, the main reason why gamers are so up in arms about it, understandably so, is you take a free feature, not only do you strip it out of the game, but you add a paywall in sort of microtransactions. Now, it does not help matters that the developer, Bungie, or like some people in Bungie have went on record just creating some sort of bullshit when it comes to like the shaders. Like, there's so much the shaders coming in towards the game in general that it's not going to be too much of an issue. But But you know what? It may be a frivolous little thing, but it leaves the impression to the people who have bought the game and through fans of Destiny where it's like, okay, I'm not getting the full experience because this thing that I had for free in the other game, I cannot have in this game to the extent that I had in the previous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, it's just basically sort of the feeling of having the slap in the face in terms of, oh, okay, now I got to quintessentially pay for stuff that I would have had to begin with. Quintessentially, that was pretty much in the game. So, I just think it's just stupid all the way around.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tyler?
It almost feels like there's so many levels to it where it makes it like obvious just how shitty they are. Activision, more Activision than Bungie. In this, where not only is it's no longer a full like one shader changes the whole outfit. Now we're gonna break this up piece by piece, and now we're gonna, instead of having some you just earn in game, you can still earn them in game, but it's all random drops. Now you can get loot boxes where you get random drops. You got to pay for it, and now on top of that, you're gonna make it consumable. It's not even. It's one thing to take out the game. It's one thing to make them where now it's piece by piece. It's another now we're making you pay for it. And now it's consumable. So now you can't wear. You can wear it once, you can't remove it, and it's gone. There's just many levels of bullshit to this. Go ahead.
Agreed. And let's make a couple things clear though. The whole thing with the color shaders, it does not really affect anything in terms of the gameplay. I mean, we're not talking about in terms of like whether it affects the gameplay because that's totally separate from the matter. We're talking about these color shaders to where it's like this is just a feature. A little minute feature that a lot of the Destiny players are upset about because it's like I was saying before, it's like just having the feeling of not having the full experience of something can cause like maybe a massive sort of like a trickle effect, a massive trickle effect to where it's like, okay, I don't have something that I originally have, and now it's like down to the level where it's like, okay, what else? It's like, what do I have to do now in order to try to like enjoy it, knowing that I don't have the full of what I could have had? You know, I know I'm over-explaining things a little too much.
No,
but
you're fine. No,
it's
yeah. You know, it is bullshit. It's just this game is coming out. It's getting overly positive reviews. People are talking about how this is so much better. This is a great expansion on top of Destiny 1. They fix a lot of issues with Destiny 1 and blah, blah, blah. But this is just a major shadow over what Destiny 2 is in launch week. Where Destiny as a franchise, I don't know if I'm not going to say this is going to be a killer for it, but Destiny is probably taking more shit than anything else this generation. As far as games go, as a franchise. And this is just one more notch on the belt of like, well, fuck you, Destiny. And it's just they don't need this. They can't afford to keep having these type of issues. And it's just like people.
Yeah.
And this goes after, I think more than anybody, this goes after the hardcore base. Because the hardcore base are the people that are gonna, that love to try out like this stuff to you and me. What's like whatever, you can't even see yourself. But like when you play with your friends online, you can put hundreds of hours in this game. Your friends are going to see you. People want to go. I've heard people that want to go color coordinated. They want to be all the same color, or they want to look kind of cool. Whatever. And it's just you're fucking over your hardcore base. And you're just instead of you're just trying to make more money off your hardcore fans. Is what you're doing. You're nickel and diming them more than anybody. And it's one thing, like I said, to now make it to charge it, but make it randomized. It's like, what at the very least, like if you're gonna charge for it, like let me pick the shader. You know what I mean? Like you're already charging for emotes, which that's stupid in itself. Something you did randomly in the middle of Destiny 1 a few years in.
Which were free, by the way.
Which were free, and then they started. Well, they added more, but they charged for them. You're doing that still with this game. You still got the silver and all that stuff. But now you're doing this with with shaders.
Can we talk about this silver for a little bit? It's like you gotta basically spend money to accumulate a bunch of different types of silver. I mean, you've played a little bit of it. Have you seen like how much they're actually charging for some of this stuff?
I have not, because I don't think I got to the point where I can buy with real money some of them. But the silver in itself is bullshit. Where now it's like you can't just like, it's kind of like what Xbox Live used to have with the points system, where it's like $5 is 400 points. You couldn't just spend if a game was 99 cents. You couldn't just buy a game for 99 cents. You had to spend $5 on Microsoft points to get it. Then you have a weird amount of Microsoft points up. So you always have a few bucks worth of Microsoft points in your console system. So you always felt like it made people want to spend it because they like, oh, I have extra cash here. I'm going to buy this, buy that. You know, it's bullshit. Now they're doing the same thing with silver. So it's odd amounts. You can't just buy this thing for 100 silver. You have to spend X amount of silver to, you know, and you can't just buy 99 cents with the silver. You got to spend spend more, and so they have that. And on top of that, you couldn't carry over any of the shit you bought with Destiny 1. Anything you bought with Destiny 1 is gone.
Wow.
So if anything you bought with real money, I should say, and any of the silver you have left in the bank from Destiny 1 is gone as well. Which just feels kind of
invest in silver.
Yeah, this feels kind of shitty to me. You know, when they talk about, they keep talking. The whole point was a 10-year plan with Destiny, and we're gonna carry over stuff and things like that. It just are kind of shitty. Like, once again, that's a big middle fingers to your hardcore base. And
exactly.
I mean, one cool thing I'll give them credit for this is that when I turned on Destiny 2, it actually like you get your character back from Destiny 1 if you played it. And a cool thing to do actually is when you click that character, it'll show you like every big event you did in Destiny 1, and it'll like tell you like who you played it with and what date you beat it on. So like all my big events, like beating the original game, the original DLCs, and like doing a couple of strikes. It was like me, Jake, and you beating it on like June 25th, 2014 or 15 or whatever it was. Like, that was kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, there's cool stuff there, but it's just like stupid business things of nickeling and diming are hurting this game. Like I said, you need as much positive publicity as you can get right now with Destiny. Like that, they are trying to fix their image, and the game of Destiny 2 itself, so far, for the fans out there, they've done a good job of fixing that image. But it's just shit like that is just another notch against them. But bullshit on top of bullshit. Sometimes the business part of the gaming outweighs the good parts of gaming, which is the fun.
True.
But moving on to actually gonna jump into something Nintendo Switch related. FIFA 18 was announced back at the Switch announcement press event, whatever you want to call it, back in January. That's coming out at launch, not at launch of the console, but at launch with PS4 and Xbox One and PC, whatever. So it's coming. It's going to come out. I think it comes out this month. I think just in a week or two, actually. But they've come out, EA has come out and said that they're cutting some modes out of it. One of the big ones being Ultimate Team, which is a very popular a mode in FIFA and in Madden. Generates a few $100 million a year in revenue for EA. So it's just like a trading card thing where you have cards and you can spend real money on cards, and you get these players and you get them from X amount of games. You play like through seasons and do different game events with them. Something I've never gotten with Madden. I've dabbled in a little bit, but I've never really got into it. Not my thing. If I really got into it, I'd probably spend an asinine amount of money on it. But like I said, EA is not going to have Ultimate Team mode in it, and that was one thing that concerned people. But the bigger thing is actually the reasonings as to why they're not going to have it in the mode. And there's actually, I have a couple quotes here from, I can't remember, I don't know how to pronounce his name, like Lazarskew, I'm not really sure. But he works for EA. One of the comments here about why Ultimate Team is not going to be in FIFA for the Switch is, if you look at the history of Ultimate Team on the likes of Sony and Microsoft, I think it's a 7-year history, if I recall. If you throw everything from the get-go to a completely new player base, you might not get the desired results. Basically saying that, and this doesn't make sense to me, that people playing this on Switch have never played a FIFA game before. That Nintendo is a different base than Microsoft and Sony. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think
No.
it's not like Nintendo. It's like not like Nintendo was. This is Nintendo's first foray into video gaming, or this is something different entirely. It's a goddamn video game console that people have been playing for. People have been playing Nintendo games longer than they've been playing Sony and Microsoft games. And then another thing he says, I look at them as talking about FIFA on the Xbox and PS4 and FIFA on the Switch. The difference. So I look at them as two different games, two different worlds. That I think we should keep them. We should take them for what they are. Keep in mind that we should not try to force people onto certain things just because it's on a certain platform. Once again, doesn't really make sense to me. This got FIFA 18 on the box on the Switch. It's got FIFA 18 on the box on the PS4. FIFA 18 on Origin, EA's Steam. FIFA 18 on Xbox One. It's the same goddamn game, just on a different console. This to me feels like something we have seen from EA and other publishers several times before, but EA being the main culprit with Nintendo is like, hey, they do it with every new console. It's like, hey, we're gonna give you this game, and then they give you like, we got Mass Effect 3 on the Wii U, but it comes out a year later. Doesn't have all the DLC on it. They don't have Mass Effect 1 or 2 on it, so you can't take the two best games of the franchise you can't actually play on here. You can't carry over your character. You look at the Maddens on the Wii, where there's just kind of like a stripped down version of it. It's the same shit we see all the time. It's like, we're gonna give you stripped down versions of it, and when it doesn't sell, we're like, well, they don't sell, so we're not gonna make them anymore. And it's just something EA has been known for. It did it with the PSP and the PS Vita. Like, they do this all the time. It's like they gotta it's like people are pushing for it, but they don't want to. They'll say, "Oh, we'll do it," but they don't want to. But they care more about being right than they do about making money. It almost feels like sometimes. And I'm not gonna necessarily say this thing's gonna sell tens of millions of copies, but you're coming out on a bad foot here by one saying you're gonna overwhelm gamers. That this is a completely new player base. No, it's not. There are a lot of people out there that are buying games on the Switch because they want to play them on the Switch more than they want to play it because they want to play on the go. They want to. This is their main platform. I play games on my PS4 because that's my main platform. But if I didn't have a PS4, I play on the Xbox One. I get the completely same experience. I don't get it. I don't this feels like we don't have a good reason. So this is the best argument we have, and it just, I don't know, it feels like the EA is just trying to prove themselves right by shooting themselves in the foot.
I have a few things I have issue with this statement. For one, going on the record and saying that this is a new experience for a new extended audience, no, that's completely asinine. Mm-hmm. What that basically tells your consumer base for the Nintendo Switch is that's undermining them. That's doing to the exact extent to where it's like saying, oh, you're a different type of gamer. I'm not going to go ahead and give you all the experience. I'm just going to dumb it down so that you're going to buy a lesser experience as opposed to going with the PS4, the Xbox One, or wherever else. This is basically EA's attempt of what they've done with the Wii U to a certain extent, to where they gave you maybe a couple of experiences that were on other platforms, but they stripped main elements out of it in order to get the sales to lack. And then once those sales did not meet their expectations, they gave them all the reason of, oh hey, our games don't sell on your system, we're pulling out.
Yeah.
So basically this is another tried and true thing where it's like, yeah, we'll work with Nintendo for this and do that. They've only announced FIFA, and quite honestly, if they keep continuing, which they probably will, because you know how EA is as a company when it comes to specific games like this on specific platforms, they'll probably go forth and just release this game with just at the sorry state that it's in at the moment, and just basically go forth and let this game tank, because they're a multi-million-dollar company, and they got like like 2-3 other different platforms that they benefit mostly on, considering how well the PS4 is doing, how PC is, and it doesn't really matter whether or not the FIFA game is good or not. It's the fact that they give Nintendo Switch owners a lesser experience by taking out those main features that hardcore hardcore FIFA fans want to play on the game in and of itself. Having the luxury of playing on the go, a soccer game that hardcore and that elaborate, that would be very appealing for some of the user base on the Switch. Another thing about the statement, it's like, not only are they undermining people, it leaves the perception of, okay, it's like, not a lot of people are going to be playing this game on our thing anyway, so we're just going to give you a half-baked experience, do this, do that. But, to be perfectly honest with you, it's just the whole PR statement in and of itself is just asinine, completely asinine, the way the way the PR person lazily said the specific statements, the official statements from EA and all this other stuff. It's like, it just really not only just reminds me of what happened on the Wii, more so on the Wii U with games like Mass Effect and stuff, but it's incredibly sucky, especially if, say, you want to play FIFA on the go on your Nintendo Switch, and even though the Switch is entirely popular and more companies are now wanting to develop for the system, oh god, there's still the same old shit.
Yeah.
From third parties.
Yeah, and like 2K is releasing NBA 2K and WE 2K18 this year, and I think one's coming out. But also, Tyler, I'm sorry to cut you off. Yeah,
but there's one thing I do have to say about, like, say, and I'm glad you brought this up for like the NBA 2K stuff. I kind of wonder if FIFA will have the same thing going on with it as, say, how NBA 2K is, where you have to require that little micro SD card in order to play the entire content on that cartridge. Because I kind of had like a little misperception here. Wasn't the original purpose of the game cards to hold a lot of that information on the cartridge itself, so you wouldn't need to go delve into the internal memory of the Switch?
Yeah, I believe that these games are just so big that you're going to need additional storage on top of it.
I think that's complete bullshit, personally, but go on ahead.
Yeah, but it might be a necessary evil to get these games on there. And I guess, actually, they did announce when the games were announced to release on the Switch months ago. They did say that it's just something that's popped up recently because the games are getting closer to launch.
Right.
You know, like I said, it's just necessary evil, possibly, from what I understand. But my initial point with it was that these two games, WWE and NBA 2K18, are going to have the full game in it, and they've been completely honest.
Yeah.
Okay, NBA 2K18 is going to have everything in it, but it's going to run at 30 frames per second.
Right.
Instead of, when it's been running in 60 frames per second. Actually, I didn't know this. NBA 2K games have been running in 60 frames per second since the Dreamcast. Which is,
I did not know that.
I
That's
didn't either.
Crazy.
Yeah. But so the Switch one, a lot more obviously stuff in 2K18 compared to 2K, the original 2K1, whatever. But yeah, so you got that on top of it. So they've been completely honest about this, like, and they're gonna get everything in there. It's not gonna run as well, I guess, but whatever. But it's just, I don't know. It's just, be honest about it. You know what I mean? And this is not honest to me. This is just some bullshit. This is the nicest way they can think of something, and like it's a backhanded compliment kind of thing.
It's a corporate response, Tyler. Pretty
Yeah,
much. It's
just
basically them just beating around the bush. Of course, they're not going to be audibly saying, "It's like, we're going to sell you something that's got less content in it than what the other versions of our product, have."
Yeah.
They're not going to say that outright.
And honestly, maybe they are being honest to them. Like, maybe this is what they think. But I think it's just it's stupid what they think. It's just, this is what they're trying to do to convince themselves.
Yeah, so ultimately it's just them saying, it's like, hey, you're stupid for buying this game on our Nintendo Switch. Let's go ahead and just go forth and buy it on the PS4 instead.
Yeah, they're giving...
That's basically what it tells me.
Yeah, they're giving everybody more reasons to buy them on their consoles. But let's move on. We got a couple other topics I want to touch on before we head out of here. One other thing. Continuing on, actually, with partially with the Switch. LA Noire game came out in May of 2011. Is getting a re-release on November 14th, coming out to PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. It's going to run on 1080p on the PS4 and Xbox, 4K on Pro and Xbox One X. It's going to be $40 on the PS4 and Xbox, and $50 on the Switch. So you got that Switch tax.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, the significance of this announcement is this is the first game that Rockstar has actually released on a Nintendo system, either handheld or console, since like Chinatown Wars.
Oh, the DS game?
DS.
Yeah.
But even before then, there hasn't been any type of like Rockstar game on a Nintendo like console or anything since maybe the N64, back when they were still possibly, wasn't it? No.
I want to say
I'm wrong. It was actually Manhunt 2, I think, on the Wii.
I think Manhunt 2. I don't want to say Bully was on the Wii.
Yes, Manhunt 2 and Bully, you're correct. So yeah, I was initially wrong about that. Like I said before, it's been a while since we've had any type of content even appear on a Nintendo system if it involves Rockstar. But overall, I kind of want to give my personal thoughts about it. For one, I'm happy that a Rockstar game is actually on a Nintendo platform. For another, it's like LA Noire in and of itself. I've never had a chance to play it. I may want to play it, I've heard mixed things about it. I don't like the fact that there's an added like $10 tax to the Switch version, because it's like, really? Out of all the other versions, it's like the basic thing that Rhyme had personally with a physical copy thing, where it's like, oh, it's $10 more. It's like,
it had to do with the cartridge. It's more expensive to manufacture cartridges than it is CDs, Blu-rays, whatever.
Yeah, I understand. But yeah, what do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, it's cool. It's on Switch. When I saw this, someone posted on the Talk Ship group. I thought it was fake news. I'm like, they're fucking with me, right? This is like The Onion or Clickhole or something. Like, this isn't happening. And then I looked at where the article came from. Like, holy shit! Why is this happening? Like,
of all games,
why? Like, I know we've seen some weird games get like re-released this generation. This might be
bizarre.
The most off the wall, like out of left field one I've seen yet. Why the fuck is LA Noire getting a release? This game was not that good. Not a lot of people like this game. It was, from a technical standpoint, really impressive. From the facial, the way the faces worked, animation goes, graphically fantastic game. Maybe one of the best looking games on the consoles that generation, PS3, X360. But this game, it just, what they were going for with the whole detective stuff, where like, is he lying? Is he telling the truth? You're supposed to tell off body language. It just didn't work. It never worked. It's like this game was probably one of the most disappointing games I have ever played. Like, I was so hyped for this game. Like, I was sold immediately. For years, I was excited about this game. And it came out, and it sucked. Oop, I hit my mic because I'm so upset about it. It still ran. Sorry about that. Fuck this game. Fuck it right in its ass. This game is garbage. The gameplay portions of it, which are very few and far between for a Rockstar game, suck. The story sucks. The characters suck. Like I said, the whole point of the goddamn game sucks. This game sucks, okay? Don't buy this game. Fuck this game. I hope it doesn't sell at all, and I want Rockstar and I want 2K to go bankrupt for putting this game out again and making me angry again. Fuck this game. This game is terrible.
Okay.
I hate this game.
Okay.
Am I getting angry? I'm angry, ain't I?
Okay,
you,
extreme
LA
thoughts
Noire.
aside right here. I mean, I can understand your frustrations about LA Noire. I personally never had a chance to play it originally. I've
Good for
heard
you.
mixed things about it, from it being okay to a specific. Oh God, I remember the specific opinions from people, like say one of our friends, like Sam Wright or something, playing that game, like not liking it too much, or like just random stuff. You know, I just really don't remember too much of LA Noire because it really did not have too much of an impact. I thought that it sold disappointingly too.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
I'm thinking that's probably why they're maybe re-releasing it. It's like, hey, we can do this kind of cheaply. It already looks really good. So let's up-res it a little bit, and let's throw it out there and make some money back on it. And I want to point out, I'm changing Sam Wright's name to Sam Wrong. Because he's fucking wrong. This game sucks. Go ahead.
At this point, I am personally happy that there is a Rockstar game coming to Switch. At the same time, it's like I much would have rather had Max Payne 3. I'm just saying.
That game's so good. It's so good. God damn it, give me Max Payne 3. Go ahead.
I didn't give that game a fair shake on the PS3 when I had it initially, so it's like. Yeah, my interest in between that is like I would have rather played Max Payne 3 than LA Noire, and I basically played through a couple chapters of Max Payne 3 and just did not give it another chance.
Oh man, that game's so good. Oh God. And another thing, why November 14th? Who thought that was a good idea? It's the week after Call of Duty and 3 days before Star Wars. Two of the biggest games releasing this year commercially. It's sandwiched in between. This game.
Who is going to buy that game?
Nobody, and they better not. I hope so. Actually, I'm really excited about that. Good call, 2K, because no one's gonna buy this game. Maybe you'll go out of business. Fuck you.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck you, LA Noire. Fucking bullshit game. Ugh.
Oh man. Oh.
Oh, we know what LA Noire. I haven't thought about that game in 6 years.
And now all of the culmination has just come running back.
Yeah, I'm all pissed off again. Fuck that game. Fuck it right in its ass. That's the title of the show. Fuck LA Noire. I don't care what anybody says. Moving on to something better. Talked about last week. I need to calm down. Give me a second. Okay. I'm better now. Talked about last week. Shadow of War had a DLC coming out called Orc Slayer DLC. It's coming out from Shadow of War, Middle Earth, what the hell you want to call it. Everybody that bought it was $5. Everybody that bought it, $350 would go to the family of Michael Forges, I believe I say his name, who died of cancer. He was an executive producer for the game. I passed away unfortunately last year because of cancer. The $1.50 is the cut that Steam, Microsoft, and Sony take off the top for all digital purchases. But the big thing, and it's something I didn't realize at the time, and it's kind of turned into a controversy over the past week or so, is that the DLC, it was in very small print in the trailer they cut for it, talking about it, is that 44 out of the 50 U.S. states would be involved, and only the United States would be involved in the charity. There's a handful of states, I know, like Illinois and a couple others that have a lot trickier laws about and taxes about charities and everything like that. So they guess some of those, they were saying in the wording, it sounded like they were just going to keep the money. So there's kind of a big backlash coming out, like they're basically that sound like Monolith and Warner Brothers were going to profit off of a dead or a deceased former employee. And somebody on Twitter asked, how much money is enough? You people should be ashamed. Stating about the fact that, like Bruce said, Whereas if I buy this game in England, are you keeping that $5? And the Shadow War, that tweet was at the Shadow War Twitter account, and they came back with neither Ubisoft nor Monolith will profit from any sales of the Fourth Hog Orc Slayer DLC, regardless of territory in which the DLC is sold. So they came back at it, but there was nothing there's no proof. It's just words. So it kind of just riled up things a little bit more. Didn't sound too good. Yeah. And so there was an update a little bit later on the next day, basically saying, another person came out to them saying, so does this mean my purchase of DLC through Steam from Canada won't count towards the donations for the Forky family? Shadow War came out and said, you're right about that, but you can also help by spreading the word. Thanks for your support. So that's...
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, actually, I said those out of order. The one I just said was actually before the other one. So the update was actually the second part I said. I read those backwards. So no update. There's no proof, no proof at all that the money that they're gonna raise. So like I said, I purchased it last week for the Xbox because you can already pre-purchase it on the Xbox and Steam. You could buy it when Shadow War comes out next month on PS4. So my money that I paid will go to them living in Iowa. I'm one of the 44 states. But there's like I said, there's just words from a Twitter account. Nothing else. No proof. No nothing.
That is not good.
No.
That is just terrible in a nutshell right there. Basically, WB and the people that do that whole Shadows of War stuff have created this entire tailspin that basically what it sounds like to me is they are, from a PR standpoint and from how they've handled this situation, it definitely does seem like they're profiting from one of their dead producers. In terms of they are donating some bits of money, but at the same time, it's all those other states that have tricky tax and all this other stuff, including other countries like England, Canada, stuff like that. Where's that money going? It's going straight to WB. Oh my gosh! And even going outwards to just answering the Twitter comment where it's okay, it's yeah, we are profiting from that thing, and you should spread the word around. It's
yeah,
no, oh no.
It just
no.
If they are not, they need to come out. The longer we go, that was on September 6th. We are almost to September 10th. When this comes out, it'll be the 10th. They have not updated at all. It's Warner Brothers has been really shitty about things in the past, about releasing games broken.
Oh my god, the past 5 years, yes.
Yeah, really bad. Random bullshit you gotta buy. They added fatalities you gotta purchase for Mortal Kombat X. Arkham Knight on the Steam was broken, and for the most part it's still broken, unplayable for people. Arkham Origins released buggy and broken as shit, and instead of fixing the game, they publicly came out and said that they were no longer going to focus on fixing bugs and releasing updates for the game because they had to focus on the DLC for the game.
Oh my god, yeah.
So they have a history of just kind of shady business practices. Go ahead.
Exactly, including Shadow of War 2, because there are multiple loot boxes, microtransactions inside Shadows of War, to the extent where it's you get to just randomly spend to buy certain types of consumables or something like that in order to take a chance of what type of armor, what type of things that you can do that with a game. And then on top of that, you have this supposed in good faith DLC all of a sudden getting this type of backlash and controversy, spinning it to where it looks like WB as a company is profiting off one of their dead employees. That is a hodge. It's a miasma of negative press and negative feelings of their consumers all just coming in together and just trying to box them in, because that's a shit show.
It's
in
gross.
And of itself.
It's really gross.
It's gross.
And
personally,
go ahead.
Personally, Tyler, it's I would not blame anybody protesting, like, not buying this game. I would not blame anybody for just saying, you know what, WB, forget your business practice, like, forget your games, I'm not spending another dime, I'm voting with my wallet, and just say no.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, ugh.
Yeah, and this, I'm not, like, in a world where, like, there's been protests and rallies about everything going on. I don't want to, you know, whether either side of the wing you're on, whatever. This feels like the perfect time. Like, this is all the right reasons, I think, to, like, if you're gonna protest the game for any reason, this is the best reason right here. And for all we know, maybe they're true. Maybe they're being honest, saying that we're not profiting off of this. I mean, I hope it's true, but they have not given us any proof otherwise. But they have a tweet, which means nothing. There's no facts, anything behind it. It's just words. And I, you know, as somebody for me that I have a fucking Extra Life tattoo. I donate tons of money every year. Not trying to brag or anything like that. To Extra Life every year. I try to donate to, when I do donate or raise money or spread the word on things. I always try to make sure that I am picking the right charities. I don't ever. Susan G. Komen, that stuff's bullshit.
Agreed.
Most of that money doesn't even go to the actual to charity. It just goes in the pockets of people, of people that don't need, of millionaires. People don't need the money. Things like that. Big, you know. I try to pick and choose when I spread the word or I donate whatever to those charities. And in this case, like, I know from fact my money is going to the Forkey family. Because I'm in Iowa, like I said. But last week when I went and said it, I said it out of positivity. I wanted people to know about this, because I want this word to spread. I want more people to know about this. That was a cool thing. And now here we are. Like, you put it very small print in the bottom of your trailer where most people aren't going to read it. Obviously, people read it now. And the fact you don't really defend what you're saying or do anything to put out the fire. If anything, you just added more flames to the fire. You gave it oxygen. Now it's spreading, and it just pisses me off that,
rightfully so,
this could possibly, like, this is the most disgusting, vile thing that maybe in my time in gaming, definitely in the time of doing the show, that I've ever heard. And as far as in the gaming world, this grosses me out. And I hope that until they come out otherwise, I hope they don't make a fucking dime off this game.
Exactly.
Fuck Shadow of War. And it's probably going to be a great game. It's probably, it was most people had Shadow of Mordor as the game of the year in 2014. A lot of people love that game. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to love this game. But the business behind it, and we talked a lot about business with EA, with LA Noire, with Destiny. Like, that shit sucks. But this is fucking disgusting.
Yep.
And I hope next week I come out here and I eat crow and say, hey, I was wrong. I overreacted. Here's their tweet. Here's the news. Here's what they said. Boom. You can pay them money. You can buy this DLC. And that family or that charity or somebody that's not Warner Brothers, that's not Monolith, is getting that money and it's going to something good.
Exactly.
Until otherwise, fuck you. That's how I feel. Very angry way to end the show. But
I do have a recommendation for the listeners who want more information upon Shadow of War, going into what we've covered so far on the podcast. I highly recommend going to Jim Sterling's YouTube page.
Oh, yeah.
Watching some of his Jimquisitions in regarding to WB and some of their past trail records. Not just for Shadow of War, but also for Mortal Kombat, Arkham, Arkham Knight, my apologies, on Steam and stuff. It's like what Tyler was saying. WB has had a spotty track record over the past couple of years where it's like either a game's been releasing broken, either games have been like overcharged for like certain microtransactions, and now we're finally at the bottom of the barrel where they're now look like they are profiting from one of their former employees that died of cancer. I mean, that is absolutely horrid. That is disgusting. It's gross. And to be perfectly honest with you, it just makes me want to just take any type of game that I have of WB and just get rid of it. Not even want to buy it. Don't even want to try it. Because until we see something otherwise, proving that they are not 100% certain, if they are 100% certain that they are not profiting from this stuff, hey, good. Good on them. They actually managed to do something correct. But if they don't, I, along with probably a lot of others, are not even going to give Shadow of War the time of day. None. Zilch. They don't deserve my time. They don't deserve my money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, fuck.
And before we get on out of here, I do want to mention if you do want to donate money and help this family out, there is a way to do it. This is a couple years old. This was made when he was still alive and fighting cancer. Obviously, unfortunately, he passed away. But there is still a site out there, a link you can go to donate money to his family. It is youcaring.com/Michael Forgy, spelled youcaring.com/MICHAELFORGEY. Like I said, this was something that was started while he was still fighting cancer to help raise funds for him. The goal was $300,000. Unfortunately, only reached $133,000. But the link is still alive. The donation page is still alive. And if you want to give the family money, help the family out, there is a way to do that by going to that site. And I will try to figure out a way to get a link in the show notes so we can get a better way to do that. But if you want to make sure for a fact that your money is going there, and they're still raising money to this day. There was a donation not even 2 hours ago as this is recording for $50. I'm scrolling through it right now. Just in the last 24 hours, they've raised about $600 on this page. So still going. Really cool thing. This was started back in I think 2015, and it's still a thing that's going on right now. So I just wanted to let people know. This is a way you can give them more money if you are wanting to. But if you are, if you're like me and are grossed out and about things going on with Warner Brothers and everything, Shadow War, whatever, this is a better way of doing that. I'm actually going to, after this show, I'm going to throw a few more bucks their way. But I just want people to know that. Once again, youcaring.com/Michael Forgy. 4G, actually, I say his name. I did figure that out. So check out that site. If you don't have the resources to donate, please share the link and tell people that are interested in buying that DLC. To instead, if you want to give $5 and their actual $5 will go to the family, this is a better place to go instead of your $350. So yeah, check that out, please. But anyways, kind of a downer way to end the show, but no real easy way to get out of that. But I wanted to say thank you guys for listening. If you want to hear more from us, we're on Facebook. We have a page and group. It is Drunk Nerds. Like and join us on there. On Twitter, we are at Drunk Nerds Pod. Follow us on there. On Twitch, we are Drunk Nerds Podcast. Follow us and send us a friend request on there. We like those. And also on YouTube, Drunk Nerds Podcast. Subscribe and like our videos. Everything we stream on Twitch goes to our YouTube channel, and all of our podcasts go on the YouTube channel as well. So if you check them on there, watch the show on there, if you give us a thumbs up, please. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, actually give us a 5-star review. Leave us a comment, please, on there as well. We'll shout you on the show if you do. And if you do from out of state, contact us. Let us know. Leave a comment in like a YouTube video or leave a comment somewhere, and I will find it on one of our other Facebook accounts or whatever. I will find that review, and I'll look it up, and I will give you a shout out on the show. Other than that, I want to thank you guys once again for listening. I was your host. I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables, so until next week, everyone, make sure to keep on gaming and just have a fun time.
Yes. Love you guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Later.
Excuse me. A few too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there, check us out, and if you like us, leave us a review, and we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.